Howdy, 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 my name is Anachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Homestuck. Now, before we begin, I want to apologize to the people who watch my channel for the Let's Read the SP Foundation Wiki, as I don't think there's going to be an episode of that today either. Due to the fact that not only do both my eyes hurt now, it is also currently a thunder nor'easter blizzard outside my house. And I want to make sure that I can at least have an electricity long enough to do something. And also, I'm entirely too close to finishing Homestuck to not do an episode of that today. I know that I'm still pretty far away from finishing it, but I've been doing this for 2 years, and I'm a lot closer to the end of Homestuck than I am to the end of the SP Foundation Wiki. That said, in this episode, it's time to go back to John's planet with more fireflies, which were briefly freaking the hell out when I started, right before I started recording. Instead of it being individual fireflies, there were just streaks of firefly that it layered instead of it gifting properly. It was kind of weird. Sad Roxy is sad. But John is back. With the ring! Oh, she's happy. What's her hand up? Oh! Okay, I was going to be so upset if both of them didn't do the thing. Oh, he's bringing the whole damn planet. He's bringing the whole flash, or the whole screen. But now it's time for a flash. I remember now. I remember now. Am I supposed to click something? Remember what? I remember what happened to us. Jane's story helped jog my memory of the final moments. She's right. When I went to hijack the meteor, there was someone there I didn't expect to see. Who was it? I think Jane covered the who pretty well with her colorful description already. What's more interesting is, it made me realize I've been wrong all along. Wrong about what, Jade? We were never dead at all. What? We've been asleep. How much power does Vriska have that she was able to do that? Seriously, how much power does Vriska have that she was able to do that? And there's the end of Act 6, Act 6, Act 5. Are these real curtains or are they CALIBORN shitty curtains? Alright, that was the end of the intermission. Now it's time for Act 6, Act 6, Act 5. And it's CALIBORN shitty curtains, so let me just... Why is there a Vriska face here? Let me just drink some water, in case I have to do the CALIBORN voice. Oh wait, that was the back button. Ah, so nice of you to join me. To join me for my masterpiece, which is claymation on Vine, which is gone now. The fruits of my artistic toils are finally at hand. You're welcome in advance for the narrative majesty you're about to witness. It costs literally millions of calicoins to produce, as well as most of my attention span for any further creative endeavors. But you will probably agree, cheerfully, that it is worth all of this expense and more to see my tiny actors of living putty dance. Get ready to be dazzled as I fucking destroy the transcendental boundaries of unconventional media. That juju chest shouldn't be moving. Sorry, I bumped it. Let us begin. The tale of my masterpiece describes is basically a spoiler to the end of things. It takes place in a future moment, long before when we, you, or I have any business seeing what happens. But I found out and learned of this spoiler. I saw it once on one of my planet's many screens. The land of colors and the land of mayhem. It knows all, and it will show anything to any man who is willing to find the right key. And it turns out that just such a man is the man that is me! Did that rhyme on purpose? That probably didn't rhyme on purpose. So I will show you what I saw. Not with the crude two-dimensional shapes from my computer pencil, but with the lavish 2+ dimensional forms of my groundbreaking clay puppets. Behold as I innovate objects of artistic expression, which you trashy fuckmunches never thought to pioneer before in a million years. Here's a shot of me bowing in advance for being great. Ah yes, movie magic at its best. Whose legs are... Oh, those supposed to be Cal. I will tell you what I saw on the screen. Believe me when I say that it happened precisely as I show you here, shot for shot. This takes place after I get the magic rainbow eyes, and yet, still before I am huge and wear a dapper trench coat for winners. But as you can see, at this point in my rise to dominant invincibility, I'm feeling pretty chuffed about myself. My power is sick, and my special eyeballs are gnarly as can be. I would tell you how I can hardly wait to be this cool. But as you know, I am a man of patience and aplomb. Sure he is. Also, look closely. I've got my juju chest there, which I will win as some choice booty from victoriously slaughtering my denizen, King Yaldabaoth. Inside is a mighty weapon, which will come into play a little later, in my theater of wobbling puppet drama. It's like they say about the theater. If you see a juju in Act 1, then the juju will probably be used right away in Act 1. To make everything more exciting as soon as possible. Also, which I should mention, one more banner piece of swag in my possession. I am not sure how I come about this later, much like the clockwork lasers and primo fashion jacket. It's a ring that found its way to me somehow. A gold ring of void. It becomes mine one day. The most beautiful thing I never knew I always wanted, yet somehow preemptively coveted. It lets me stay close to the darkness, to vanish and appear again in places I have no business fucking with. Full of plump and meaty people, alive and living, who one day will plead with the gods begging them to curse my name. Here I am, lording it over my minions. The classic hog friend, my rabbit pal for life and my floppy puppet buddy. I'm bossing them around, being the shit as always, whatever. They both look like dicks. When suddenly, 8 assholes who snugged up in their goofy pajamas appear out of nowhere for some wrestling royale with yours truly. Props to them for actually being able to animate that happening. They all steal a ride with the windprick snappy ghost magic to catch me unawares. It worked! Judging from my skull expression, I was really surprised. But then, my skull turns giddy and sinister because I know in my heart that truly they are about to get owned. They are all frisky and ready to fight. I can tell they are psyched about this, like they've been planning it and biding their time, and now they think they are strong enough to overtake me, if only because of the surprisingness of their ambush. And maybe they are even right. Maybe they could beat me. They have a lot of fighting levels and magic boons now, just like me. But see, I don't even give them the chance. Like I said, I have a superior weapon. And I see no reason not to use it right away. What What would be a fucking point in holding out? Suspense? Bullshit. I pulled out the big guns nigh instantaneously, because I think like a great winner. But like most things that are good, the thing has limitations, and rules and stuff. All jujus have rules. The cooler the juju, the trickier the rules. For one thing, this weapon could only be used against 4 guys at a time, because its shape has, like, 4 slots or something. So I choose my targets carefully. I select the 4 of these jokers who I deem to be the greatest threat to me. The blue Philistine with the belligerent fists, of course, so he can't own me again with hurtful insults to my art. And also the alpha male and his smooth ways. Say goodbye to him too. I couldn't risk messing with his sword, which I understand to be the only thing in reality that is poison to my invincibility. Because of an illegal ingredient, a white round circle of total knowledge. Oh, I targeted their 2 corresponding females as well. Because why not? The dog one is a nightmare of powers, and the orange one perturbs me with her dictionary blither. Good riddance to bad teens. And just like that, they were gone. Their souls were trapped in my juju, forever. This solves one problem for me, but starts another. The juju, when its shapes are filled, changes in nature. It stops being a weapon I can use ever again. It's weird, and a bit lame, but you can't be too picky about awesome jujus. You have to take the good with the bad. Once I used it, it became mysteriously intangible. Like a hole, a gap in the teeth of my story, that now exists as a dangerous liability to me personally. It can only ever be used as a weapon against me from now on. Such as what Yellow Broth, the great lewd snake, will tell me about the juju when we meet. So after using it, it made me nervous. So in the blink of an eye, I trapped it back in the chest and I banished it away, where no one would ever find it, deep in the bowels of the furthest ring. Using my ring-based communion with the void. Poof! Good luck digging that one up, haters. It is never going to happen. With the first four banished, the team of heroes was cut in half. To be much easier for me to devastate. A smutty swordsman, an underpants wimp, and 2 flippant bimbos? I would call it a cakewalk, but when you are this cocky and brash, you don't walk, you strut. No matter what kind of dessert you find under your feet. I should also relevantly mention, I am still in possession of the swordman's juju, his floppy friend of childhood, the one which I recognize to be an empty husk. He demands from me that he wants it back, presumably for emotional support. I can in no way blame him. Keep an eye on this one. The foreshadowing of him is pretty important for later. Now is when the pummeling begins. The fracas is loud and large. Power levels are off the charts. You can't even follow what's happening with your eyes. I'm mostly toying with them, though. It's all too easy for an ascended lord boy like me. I have a platter full of knuckle sandwiches to go around, plus other human food products you're familiar with, but also evolving knuckles to make the punching metaphor work. There is more than enough to satisfy every hungry fist deserver. And I know what you're thinking, that I have a reputation for having a problem of unfair cruelty that goes at silly ladies more than great gentlemen, to which I take great offense. But still, let it be unconditionally accepted that I am a fair man who listens to criticism, and works ever and always to improve my masterful craft, and my tremendous decency. So, I have committed, through a pledge of personal beautification, to try doing less misogyny and start doing more prosogyny. In fact, I fucking love sogyny, and I will fight anyone who disagrees from that. Henceforth, look, all bodily terrorism is being dealt in a precisely equal and respectful way, both to feeble hoe and tip-top gent alike. I'm ruining them, really. It's not a contest. They're a bunch of pitiful emotion children, and I am a premier invincible titan of roughhouse brutality. It's too easy. Speedo Boy is down for the count because I slapped him gingerly. The masked floozy is looking a bit woozy, haha. The cake maid took 1 drug too many and has to lie down for an overweight nap. This leaves me, mano a mano, against the anime prince and his nonsense trousers. It was a pretty good fight between us. Because he is strong, and I admire that. Why shouldn't I let a battle happen for longer when 2 tough dudes are involved, strutting their stuff? But in the end, his sharp glasses and sword machismo weren't enough. I got the supreme drop on his powerful body with my wrestling moves. My overconfidence was my Achilles' downfall, though. I made, admittedly, the amateur's boner. I turned my back on the body. The amateur's boner? The crybaby in yellow panties got upset with me that I was wailing so excellently on his increasingly battered pretty boy ninja stud. And by upset, I mean he threw a fully fledged tantrum of pure hope. The hope. My God. It was blinding. Beautiful, even. Okay, maybe the cotton isn't doing it justice. Okay, yeah, maybe that just looks stupid. You know, you try things, and sometimes it just looks like shit. Let's call this my one and only fuck up in history. Well, my second, maybe. Second only to underestimating this sad sack wuss of hope. Who knew that such a simpering charlatan had such an outburst stowed in his girly bosom? Clearly not I. Even though I had the information well in advance, it was just that surprising. It seems that hope power is overwhelming. Even to the clockwork man junk, it looked like I thought I could use my rainbow seizure field to overpower his massive gay hope bubble. Alas, it was my perfectly justified hubris which bit me in the ass. In the end, even though I'm sure I should have known this outcome was going to happen, it can still be worth it to get owned, if it means having a lot of self-esteemed hubris about yourself. And so, the English boy deals me my first defeat ever since ascending as an invincible Technicolor Time Kid. I get dunked as fuck. And land squarely on my bottom. I remain prone for several minutes, staring at the ceiling, blinking a bit, wondering where things went wrong in life. How I, the Lord of Time, could experience such woeful ownage. There is no bodily harm, of course, except to my incredible ego, which is a fate worse than getting broken bones. So I just lie there, thinking sadly, achieving some depression. I'm sure at this point I turn to thoughts of respect. Respect for the pansied ass, pretty-legged page, and maybe his accidental prowess. I misestimated him, and admiration happens in my breast. Maybe I'll jack his swagger too, as he once did mine. Maybe after a lifetime of utterly deserved humiliation, as he once did mine. Maybe after, sobbing and spontaneous urination, he earned that much. The clue here is that I steal his name. God, you thick, stupid fucks! Why do I bother with subtext or fine literary nuance? God! Fuck! God! I take his name later. English! That's me later. That's my name! You stupid, brainless fucks! Holy shit, you are dumb as bozos! Come! God! Meanwhile, Strider regroups from his trouncing and sees his chance to do away with me for good. He knows by now that he can't kill me, but he can do his next best thing, which is to banish my soul. He's hurt bad, and is slow to use his pink soul-killing spell. This gives me time to rebound from my shameful ass-whooping, too, and pull my sorry butt out of the own zone. So I get up, and I nearly get the drop on him before he releases his spell, but then, what's this? There's a commotion, the haunting sound of neighs, except they're robot neighs. That is when the horses come into play. The goddamn horses! How truly and utterly ironic that my very demise could be in the proximity of some horses. What? No, really? What? I didn't follow that. I'm still not following it, to be honest. I'll have to think it over. I'm thinking it over right now, and I have a feeling I'll be thinking it over for the rest of my life. Perhaps we all will. Wait, they should be robots. Hold on while I paint the horses to look like metal horses. Damn, the work of a crafty man is never done. So basically, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So I'm really distracted. I'm saying to myself, this is ominous as shit. Nothing good can ever follow or precede an event such as this. And then, that's when it happens. The sweaty, muscular ghost appears out of nowhere. I have no idea who he is, or where he came from. Judging from the face of the guys, they don't either. Nobody sees this coming. It is a total ambuscade, and my skeleton jaws drop this shit. He pins me in place with his ripped muscles, and I'm completely immobilized. Partly because of the strength, but also due to my awe and admiration. I just can't move. This gives Dirk the time he needs to do his flamboyant pink spell. It owns me completely, but sadly to Dirk maybe, it also owns the muscle hero. Both our souls are consumed by the enchantment. I think he thought he could destroy my soul, but he bit off more than his fleshy skull could chew. So he used his irony again, and stuck my soul in his juju, exactly the way I stuck his buddies in my juju, the one I got from Yoda Wooger. It's like poetic justice, I guess, except puppetry instead of poetry. So poetic justice. Oh, yes, I like that. The muscle ghost came along for the ride, and I guess his soul got trapped in there too. I have no idea what that means. Honestly, it is disturbing as hell, and I'd prefer not to dwell on its greater ramifications to my long-term existence. Maybe it's good, or maybe it's dumb. Maybe it's good and dumb, or smart and bad. There's so many words and things can be when you're confused. At this point, his beloved Juju is no longer a hollow vessel. It is very much crowded in there, chock full of souls belonging to hardcore brawling brutes. And he knows it. His puppet is now a problem to do away with, just like my Juju was. So they do the same basic thing. They get their drunken sorcerers to void the banished puppet once and for all, into the darkness, never to be found again by probing hands of meat. Yes, never to be found. But not never to resurface, oh no. You see, my soul is a tenacious one. I know this fact firsthand because it has been inside my brain all my life. That's not how souls work. It's a real motherfucker, I'll tell you that much. My puppet's essence will flop and flutter through the shadows for eternity, surfacing in the nightmares of the unsuspecting, weaseling its way into the hearts of yucky, shitty children. And when its infiltration in that universe has taken hold, the seed will have been planted, and it will pave the way for my emergence to wreak my badness. My throat was making like a wheezing sound, holy shit. From universe to universe to universe, each one will fall, and each time I will get stronger, and older, and bigger, and buffer. Oh yes, it will be time. It will be in time indeed for me to get ripped. And now, if you will excuse me, I must put down the toys and ways of a child and confront the big things of becoming a huge man by dueling the supreme beast of my legend land, his serpentine eminence, Yogurt Boner himself. I'm about to go fight him now. So this will be the last time you will ever hear my excellent voice, thank God. I will duel and crush my slithering sexual snake boss to finish what I started when I stepped my metal foot into this children's farce. I will do that because I want to, and when that is said and done, and you see me at the peak of a mountain of trophies resting on my throne of prizes, I want to get to tell you that I did what I wanted to do. So if you remember just one thing I say, of so many great things said by me, then please remember this. I wanted to play a game. MSPA reader mental breakdown. After I sniffle so I don't interrupt this for the flash sound. So, that, well, for one, that was Hello Zep from the Saw movies. I really like that song. But what that just was basically, Lil Cal has been CALIBORN the entire time. Throughout the entire comic, Lil Cal has been the combination of CALIBORN, Aqueous Sprite, and Gamzee the entire time. I'm not sure if it necessitated the Saw theme, but considering CALIBORN's whole shtick was thinking he was Jigsaw, I guess that works. Also, I guess it works that I did Jailbreak and Problem Sleuth, because now the suicide stump makes sense in the context of my channel. But in any case, I figure, rather than just go straight from a Flash ending CALIBORN's thing immediately into a Flash starting Act 6 Intermission 5, I'm going to end this episode here, and the next one will be the beginning of Act 6 Intermission 5. So, this has been Anachi Sasuke. Thanks for watching episode 133? Is it Wednesday? Yeah, 133 of Let's Read Homestuck. If you liked it, a like and a subscribe would be groovy. If you didn't, you don't need to do either one of those things. And I will see y'all in the next one. Later.